doctor ordered me to drink and drive. As she came up to the bar, she was tipsy. She knew just what she wanted to drink. It was a long night chasing after the girl. Kind of stories you tell to your boys, not your girl. It was a long night chasing tail. Put in the hole and the right hole, and we were the snail. She wore a red dress after dinner. She wanted to let me know that she was a sinner. She danced like her body was possessed by the moon. And we danced until we both turned blue. She was a madman woman. She was a madman woman. She was a madman woman. She was a mad woman. She told me I should return to the sea for another long evening with you and me. And I know I didn't want to get into trouble, but she was my drug and I needed a door. While she was a madman woman. She was a madman woman. She was a madman woman. She was a mad woman. Yeah. She was a mad woman.
All right. Welcome to the NEPA Scene Podcast. We're coming to you live from Cole Creative in downtown Wilkes-Barre. I'm Rich Howells. I'm the founder and editor of NEPA Scene.
And I am Brittany Boot, and I'm the owner of Boot Photography Studio.
And our co-host Johnny couldn't be here tonight, but we do have Wilkes-Barre rock band Vine Street, who you just heard. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello. Hey, guys.
We're going to talk about their original songs, their place in the local music scene, the new Sunset Sessions open mic that they're hosting at Kirby Park in Wilkes-Barre this Sunday, July 16th. The importance of open mics to local musicians and much more. So stay tuned for the next hour. And if you have any questions and comments, please leave them at in the section down below this video, and we'll get to those and we'll address them and everything in a little bit. So before we get to the interview, we have some beer to drink.
Okay. Sweet.
Pop this open. So this is from Beer Boys in Wilkes-Barre. They're our newest sponsor on the show. They have a whopping 72 beers on tap, including 30 from Pennsylvania breweries. These guys are committed to craft. So each week they're providing us with these massive crowlers, which are kind of like growlers. Somebody thought that was a typo when I had said crowlers. Now, it is an actual. It is like a growler, but it'll last a little bit longer because it's in this giant can. And this week they're filled with chocolate lobster, which is by Dogfish Head Brewery in Delaware. It's a porter that was actually brewed with live lobster, dark cocoa powder, and basil tea. Yeah, they boil them right before, I guess, and then put them into the batch with everything else. So yeah, I mean, if you've ever been to Delaware, I went to the brewery once, and everything down there is like fish and lobster and all that kind of stuff. This is right by the ocean, so this is going to be interesting because I absolutely hate seafood with a passion, but I am willing to try this. I think it actually be pretty good because I like porters, I like darker beers. So hopefully that stuff kind of overpowers the seafood part of it.
You guys wanted some beer?
Yeah, if you guys want some.
You pass those. I'll pour these.
Okay.
And you want to chocolate lobsters?
Yeah, by all means.
Take a swig.
Smells like chocolate. Tastes like lobster.
There's your ad.
So
Smells like chocolate. Tastes like lobster.
it is not false advertising.
Did you try it? Are you afraid?
I will try it. I'm waiting for the head to go down a little bit.
Pretty good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Like I didn't
Doesn't
expect it
taste like
to be
beer.
good.
I didn't expect that either.
But it is.
It's like
Totally
a
not a dark
coffee
beer
of
person.
sorts
That's
almost.
pretty good.
Chocolate lobster.
Yeah, it's supposed to have kind of like a robust sort of, darker flavor to it. So
I dig it.
yeah, it is actually surprisingly really good. It's kind of, and it's got that bittersweet chocolate taste to it.
It's smooth.
Yeah, it's real
It is real
smooth.
smooth.
And it's a 5.6, and you can't really taste any of the alcohol in it. So pretty decent. So there's your completely unbiased review
Thanks, Beer
of
Boys.
chocolate lobster. So yes, thank you to Beer Boys.
Thank you. Thanks.
We also want to give a shout out to our other sponsors, the Keys in downtown Scranton. I was just there last weekend. Had a blast, really good time, seeing some great bands. This Thursday is their weekly open mic. Friday we have Old Charades, Estacota, Willingboro, and Doug Griffin's. And then on Saturday, local punk band The Disorders are playing. And the Kirby Center is also a sponsor on our site. They have Billy Strings and Trout Steak Revival coming up on July 13th. Robbie Folks on July 14th, and Daughtry on July 15th. So they're going to have a busy week coming up. All right, now let's get to the subject at hand. So you guys originated in Hanover Township in 2012, is that right?
Yep. 2012.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about maybe your musical backgrounds before that and how you ended up coming together to join this band.
So I played music since I was like 13, and I don't know. I came back from school, and I really wanted to start a band, but didn't really know who to start it with. And these guys were hanging out with me, and we'd go out. I guess I'll tell the story again, but we would tell chicks.
This is one you tell a lot?
Yeah, we would tell chicks we were in a band just to get them to talk to us. So then once they
Said you
started,
had to have a band.
Yeah.
they wanted to come see us, so we had to start a band. So then it was me, Drev, and Guizo for about 3 of the 5 years. And then Matt came along while he was sound checking his drums, and he just stayed up on stage with us. And then ever since then, he's played drums with us. So.
Did all of you go to Hanover?
No.
I did.
I know
did
you.
as well.
I thought you two did. I didn't know
Yeah.
if you two did.
Yeah, we
No.
got Holden.
Okay.
I went to O'Reilly.
Okay.
But yeah, then we've just been playing ever since. I mean, we were doing open mics for a while, and then John Shimo and Mother Nature's Sons kind of let us open up for them at Jazz Cafe. And then from there, it kind of just spiraled. We were getting more material and playing longer shows, and now we do kind of openings for certain bands like Dustin Douglas and Half Dollar we open for. But yeah, we get shows around the area. Bones, we play a lot. I mean, we've played at the Jazz Cafe a few times, but yeah, 4 or 5 hour long shows. They're fun, but we'd like to get a little shorter shows opening and maybe some mixes with some bands. So that kind of led into like this open mic kind of sorts, because we were playing outside for a benefit, and we always talk about playing outside in the summer and how much fun that is. And it's a great opportunity to meet other bands when it's like open mic. We go to Tony's Wine Cellar. I know Brittany used to work there, but it was just cool to like kind of interact with other musicians and get their take on our music, and them listening to us and us listening to them, kind of share different interests of what we liked and didn't like. And then it helped us get people to come to our shows and us them. So yeah, that's basically the open mic. Is just kind of like, let's all just get together. There's so many musicians in the area, and there's so much talent, so why not all come together and spread that and join. You know, like if Jordan Ramirez is a good friend of ours too, so he's in Half Dollar and he does his own experiments. So if we could mix that up and get different genres of music together and create new music, I think that's a really awesome thing. And I hope with that open mic on Sunday, it's Kirby Park, everybody could come, you know, to be 21, and I don't know, I'm just hoping it's fun. I mean, I'm going to have fun.
That's how a lot of bands are formed, are from open mics and people meeting each other and kind of like getting in each other's little circles and like playing together and jamming together. And I mean, that's like pretty much the atmosphere that you really need to like be able to progress when it comes to wanting to play music in the area and wanting to play music with different people.
Yeah, and they like feed off each other. Like if I see a band I really like, that amps me up. I was like, all right, I want to go up and play. I mean, I do headstands. I jump on things I shouldn't, but
Me too.
I just.
But that's like after like a couple of those.
Yeah. A couple chocolate lobsters.
Yeah, forget about it.
It's getting crazy.
By the end of this podcast, you're
Yeah,
gonna be up on
I
that
have a
table.
tendency to do handstands. Actually, I've left bars on my hands before, so and that's true.
That's good.
Well, one of the things that I learned from hosting open mics and stuff over the last couple of years was just how important they are to musicians. I don't think people realize that it is an essential part of not only, you know, honing your craft and everything, but networking and stuff and getting together with other bands and stuff. So how have they maybe influenced what you guys do?
It's definitely open. Like the more we put ourselves out there, the more doors it's opened. We've met so many cool people in the music scene around here, and it just seems like I said, when we put ourselves out there,
It's also
playing different.
yeah.
I think that's how I met you guys initially.
Yeah, and it's.
Open mic.
I just think it's a great way. Like a kid in his room writes an original song, but he can't go out and play a show. But he could come to an open mic and he could play that song and feel good about it and get feedback, and then that might encourage him to go write another song. And
Build
then
your confidence.
yeah, and then as the more you do it, the more songs you have, the more people you meet, and all of a sudden the kid that was sitting in his room with a notepad and a guitar
Has a whole band.
has a whole band and a lot of friends and good feedback, that they could be more confident that, all right, well, my stuff people like, or my stuff, this is what I gotta fix because nobody's really digging this. So, but I mean, it's just all a form like expressing yourself and being able to be. I feel like an open mic is like the perfect
room. Like, people that are going to open mics, they're not there to, like, judge you. I think they're there to embrace that. So I hope with Kirby Park, like, just that happens. I mean, and it being not 21 of age, like, you don't have to be able to drink to come into it. You could be 16, 15, high school. You can come up and play a song and feel good about it. Your friends could come, and I mean, it's summer. Everybody wants to be outside, so I just think playing when the sunset's going, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So,
Is it a little bit different as a musician to play stuff outside? Is it a different way you approach shows like that?
I mean, we did one, and it was awesome. I remember looking up and like looking at the water and just being like, this is not a typical Sunday. I mean, we're playing our tunes, and it's hot. I mean, and like we will watch documentaries. Like we feed off YouTube videos. We could go in the YouTube hole. So and to watch all these like, and I grew up going to Warped Tour and all these different things outside. So to have that, I mean, most big venues that you go to, people are playing outside, so that you can go to Dave Matthews.
It's not a bar, it's different.
Yeah.
It's a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just open and free, and like birds are flying around. It's just a good time.
Like as much fun as it is, I'm sure, to play at Bones. It's like a way different vibe to play at the park.
Yeah.
You know, like Bones is kind of like, all right, we're gonna get nuts and like smell like smoke, but like have like a super awesome rock and roll time. The park is like, oh, this is like relaxing, and like we're all like enjoying ourselves in this very like family friendly atmosphere. Like it's like a whole different.
Yeah, there's just something about people laying a blanket out and sitting on it watching you versus
So drunk people hitting Sean in the face with microphones.
Yeah, that did happen one show. But
I think it's cool too. From 6 to 9, I know it's been mentioned a couple times on this podcast about the start time of shows and open mics.
Sure.
And from 6 to 9, I know like when we first started out, it was like to play. There was like we found open mics on like Tuesdays from like 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like we got work tomorrow.
Right.
And they usually didn't like start till like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I think this is cool for anyone to.
it's just like a short.
It's a nice Sunday evening.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
it's a nice
like
cap on the weekend before
right. It's not gonna affect your day the next day. It's not like you have to like stay out till 2 a.m. just to like catch a. Well, it is your decision, but like it's not gonna like. It's not gonna like define the next day of your life. Whether it's like, you know, I'm gonna go to this open mic and get like nuts and like not be able to go to work tomorrow. Like that's not gonna happen.
As long as you're not still high from Camp Bisco.
Unless you're me.
We get the genre of Camp Bisco people coming down. It's like,
they're all stumbling off the mountain,
everywhere.
trying to find their way. Oh,
Have
what's
you ever,
this?
Have you ever been like in an environment where everyone's just like chill and like, but then there's like one person that's like didn't get the memo that's like that's not this kind of party.
This isn't right. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, they were like pre-gaming.
Right. Yeah, there's pretty much one at every one of those types of things.
Yeah.
Not much you can do about that.
Can't get enough of the chocolate lobsters.
That's pretty
Beer
good.
boys,
I
thank
know,
you.
that's what I was gonna go.
Thank you very much.
Beer Boys, chocolate lobster on draft.
Vine Street
No,
sponsor.
growler.
I think they call them crowlers because they're in
Crowlers.
cans and growlers are in
That makes
glass.
sense.
Right, exactly.
probably the same-
They're
it's probably
combining
the same,
the two terms.
Like
Lazy.
amount of ounces,
Figured it
right?
out. We cracked the code.
That's cool that they have their own little stickers that they like. I guess they're stickers.
Yeah,
So
they
just
go
straight up
across
get
there.
them canned like that.
They taste good.
They do
They
taste
say
good.
not ball. I thought they said Bosco.
So how did you decide on the name Vine Street? Is it a local Vine Street, or is that just a general?
That's where we are.
Yeah, we were at open mic and we needed a name to sign up on the sign up sheet. And we practice at Guizzo's, so he lives on Vine Street. So
on Vine Street.
I think
Just kind of natural.
I think we were Flow State before Vine Street, and that just didn't go too well. It just sounded weird.
Flow state?
Yeah, like
I didn't even know that.
it's like
Like we're in like the
That was
flow
before
state?
Matt.
yeah, Flow State.
Like the state of flow?
Yeah,
That was 3 drummers ago.
and then I don't remember what we called ourselves
remember
the
that?
first time, but Vine Street kind of just stuck.
I feel like you guys signed up at the Jazz, like you did Vine Street. It was under Vine Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had it for a while. It seems to be going all right. I mean, People are making T-shirts.
Yeah. Where'd you find that?
Colorado, actually.
That's cool.
Just the bar and
So if you guys want to buy a street T-shirt, support the band,
Go to
Colorado.
Colorado.
So you have to
Eat
go
at that
all the way
restaurant.
brewery and support them.
Yeah.
They should cut you in on the profits.
They should.
there.
Yeah.
They should.
So now, musicians don't usually like to put labels on things, but saying a rock band, it's like, well, okay, what kind of rock? So how would you define yourselves, or how do you describe your music to people who haven't heard you before?
We kind of go back and forth with this. What was it? Oh, it's
Eclectic. We were told we were eclectic at one point.
Yeah, we normally go by what people tell us.
It's much easier.
I feel like it's kind of like telling people who you voted for, in a sense. It's like you
Yeah.
don't
How do you
want
define-
to really put
You don't want to put
something
your
on it.
people will take your word for
Yeah.
it.
They're kind of stuck in that mindset then.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they're kind of
It's like
looking
you're
for.
predetermining them to
Right.
like see you guys. Where if they just listen to us, and then they could be like, oh well, they remind me of this band that I like, or this band I like, or this band I don't
You kind of
like.
have like a country vibe to me, a little bit.
Me?
Sometimes.
We never
yeah.
got that. So
Really? Do you feel
I
that?
get that sometimes because
Do
I went to West Virginia and for some reason I don't know if I picked up some kind of
There's something in the water.
country, but
Just a little
But
bit of
even
an
like
accent there?
even when you're singing, like
oh really?
yeah, there's like a southern, not like it's like you have a southern accent, but there's definitely like a southern feel to it.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I like turn into somebody else when I like play, or if that's just me when I don't know. But
Something comes
I
over you.
have heard that before, so I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I'm alright with it.
Like if you wore a cowboy hat, I don't know if people would be like, that's weird.
I've actually never
You know, like-
been to a country concert. I don't even know if we play many country songs.
we play like a lot of songs from the band, so they definitely have country influence.
Like a lot of like American rock and roll does have some like country
Yeah.
in it, you know, and there's so many different like tiers to that, you know.
Well, I mean, they essentially both kind of come out of the blues and things
Yeah.
like that too. So I mean, the influences are similar. If you go all the way, trace it back to
Right.
the
It's
base of it.
There's like if this is country and this is black and this is rock and roll and this is white, there's all this gray in between.
Right.
That was a really long way to explain like that is a gray area where country.
worked.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Totally worked.
Just so you get it at home, like telling everybody like acting like they don't know what I'm talking about at all.
But what's in that
Well,
gray
yeah, to
section?
explain this like very detailed
Let's
for
get a
you.
whiteboard here.
Yeah.
Let's get in depth.
Yeah.
Gray rock. That's
Gray rock.
Gray rock.
You know what I thought of the other day
We're gonna
while I was
steal that
listening?
music.
Like I'll put like Pandora on like if I'm out by the pool and like just listen to like I'll type in like weird shit. Like I typed in surf jazz. And it was like the coolest station ever. And like I never thought like that would be like a thing, you know,
Yeah.
but it is. That's
Yeah,
all.
that's like one of those nights you're gonna get to bed early and then it's like 4 in the morning. You're still watching.
It's like,
surf
what about
jazz.
what is
Yeah.
surf jazz? Like then you're like, and then you're just like your brain goes off in
Yeah.
this like direction, and then you become one of the people like I'm gonna start a surf jazz band.
Yep.
Well, if you have any surf jazz, open mic, Kirby Park, 6 to 9.
So you guys have a bunch of original songs. How many songs do you think you have together so far?
Probably about 2,000. We write a lot and record a lot on various devices, but we have a hard time going back and reviewing them. Most of all of our original stuff is freestyled within practice. Trev will start a riff, or I'll start a riff, and it will just build off of it, and then I do better with lyrics, just like kind of close my eyes and feeling the music, and then coming up with these stories that have certain like meanings in them. I don't know if a lot of them are influenced by my life, but there's a lot of different things. Like if someone said something to me, I might throw that in a song and work it off on that. But yeah, I'd say we probably have about 6 solid ones that we keep going back and forth, but there's about 100 that we keep saying we're gonna go pick these pieces out of this and that. But like an original song we write today might not sound the same tomorrow, so we'll just keep writing new ones. But yeah, I'd say we have about 6 to 8 that we play consistently at a show. We try to sprinkle them in with cover songs just because I don't know. I mean, people seem to like the original songs,
Yeah.
but you know, people are always like, well, do you know this song? Do you know that song? So you kind of have to feed into the crowd and like the atmosphere.
To get their attention.
Yeah,
Sure.
and people that are drinking, they want to dance and they want to sing to the top of their lungs songs that they know. So with our original songs, I mean, some people know them, but I don't know. I think it's a good mix, I'd say.
So, well, how do you choose what songs that you want to cover, or what do you think people respond to?
I don't know, I'm doing all the talking. I feel bad. These guys.
No,
Yeah, feel free to jump in.
with like with the originals for a while when we were practicing, we would just put a microphone in the middle of the room and record the entire practice, and then later go back to it. Actually, Glees was the one who would go back through GarageBand and cut everything, and he would put it on CDs, and then each one of us would have a CDs for 2 weeks, and we're listening to the same stuff over and over, and then when we come back to practice, we all have we've heard that song 3 times. We
Yeah.
played it only 1 time, but we heard it 5 times. So
Yeah.
sometimes we're able to jump right back into it. Sometimes not so much. But as far as cover songs, it's usually if somebody
usually
knows the
brings something.
bass line or a riff of a song, we start with it and just learn the words.
Yeah,
Try to remember.
we try to we try to mix it up. Like there's we all like different types of music, but there's some that we intertwine, I guess. And with that, we'll mix it up. Like we'll do the band and Bruce Springsteen and then take it to MGMT and Alabama Shakes. So it's like a wide range. Like we don't limit ourselves. I know some bands, they have their classic they'll play I don't even know. But we try to spice it up. So if we'll play a Johnny Cash, and then we'll go into Alabama Shakes or something that is 2 different age types, but they're all songs that people probably would
They'll
know.
resonate with them.
Yeah. And then there's sometimes that people never heard the song, but we just really enjoy it. So it's kind of I love when someone shows me a new song. I think it's the best thing, and I overplay it until I can't listen to it anymore. But so I feel like we do that sometimes. If we like a song, we'll introduce it to the set list, and sometimes we'll get people to be like, well, is that original or is that a cover? And then they learn a new song through us, but it's not ours. But so yeah, it's just kind of like a mix, but I think it's fun. I mean, we do S.O.B. By Nathaniel Ratcliffe, and
Oh, yeah, that's a fun one.
That's
Yeah.
usually
I
fun. If
love
you got
that
you got a
song.
rowdy bar, that's a fun one.
yeah,
That sounds like an old song, but it's not, right?
Yeah.
Right.
it's got a little country
Yeah.
in it.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Country.
That gray matter.
Yeah,
Little
but that gets
southern.
the crowd involved, and
Yeah, people like that song.
yeah, I love taking the mic stand off the mic and getting people to sing with me. I know a lot of people don't do that. But
Sometimes it's hard to get them to stop,
yeah.
depending on where you're at.
Just let it go.
Like-
Doesn't matter. Just keep jamming it. Let it roll.
Like, okay, that was fun.
Yeah, we were playing No Diggity once, and our friend Mike Carney came up on stage, and he would not stop saying, "Hey-oh, hey-oh, hey-oh." For 10 minutes. We just kept playing.
Like, just let them go.
He's like, all right, we're going to have to cut a few songs because this is going a little longer than we expected.
I bet he had fun, though.
Yeah, he had a great time. He talks about it all the time, so. He made a memory, so that's important, I guess.
So what inspires your original songs? And you mentioned things that people say to you. What other personal things that you kind of put in there, or what?
I think there's a lot of different things. It really depends on the day for me, actually. If I'm having a good day, the song might be a little bit more brighter. Or if I'm having a shitty day, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
No,
you
yeah, you
can.
can. Go ahead.
then it'll probably be a little darker. But
Encourage
I don't know. I kind of think in senses of generalization of emotions on people, different situations. I know a lot of people sing about love and breakups and stuff like that, but I try to sing about that, but in a different creative way. like our one line in XOXO is there's caterpillars in my belly waiting to turn to butterflies. And the whole XOXO song is about when we're really little, we're innocent. We're all little innocent kids. And as we grow up, life kind of kicks you around and beats you up. So you lose that innocence, but you always kind of remember where you started from. And you could take back those memories like, oh, well, I remember my first kiss. And I remember when I used to, like, just hand paint on the walls and different things like that, where it's like as you grow, you learn those, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't do that. So it kind of pulls you into this robot. But
Machine.
Yeah.
yeah, and then, like, and I don't know, so just different things like that. And I mean, one time, we have a song, Don't Let Go, and my ex-girlfriend.
I'm laughing. I don't know why yet, though, but I know it's going to be good.
It's good. You can keep laughing.
She would say, well, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. So the one verse in the song, I kind of incorporate that. And she loves the song, so it worked out. But yeah, it's just different things. Like, it's hard to explain because, like, even that song we just played, Mad Mad Woman, it was like at the end of practice and everybody was burnt out, and I started playing that riff and I just got into this mode and started singing about this Mad Mad Woman. And then, like, as I create like a verse, then the rest of it kind of sprinkles out, and I could kind of make a whole story through that. But yeah, so far I've been having fun with it. I hope my lyrical spins don't run out because I enjoy doing it. But yeah, I don't know. As long as somebody could relate to things that I'm saying, or just sing them back to me while I'm singing them.
Yeah.
That's all I really want. So
It's hard to, like, organize, like, with, like, art. It's hard to organize or understand, like, what actually does, like, motivate you to do something or say something or paint something or try to visualize something or sing something or create some kind of audio thing that people are going to, like, that's supposed to kind of, like, represent an emotion. Like, it's really hard to really nail down, like, oh, like, what did this come from? It's easy for some people to be like, oh, like, I was pissed off, so, like, I wrote, like, this angry song. But sometimes it doesn't even come out. Like, it's not even, like, really, it's relative, but the
Sure.
way that you express it isn't, like, the emotion that you're supposed to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I know it's hard to explain, but, like, with art, it's hard to nail down exactly where it comes from. Sometimes.
yeah, I understand that.
Sometimes it's...
No, sometimes it's kind of like a whole ball of things, you know, things that happen throughout your life, things that happen
Yeah.
at that moment, you know, whatever.
It's hard to
There's
dissect
all
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'll see
put it at a
stuff,
specific
like-
point.
that I'll see the art that people make, and I'll kind of know that they were going through something at that time, but their art doesn't necessarily represent it.
Yeah.
But if you kind of dissect it, like, and go into these little details and, like, the symbolism that it comes to, like, art and, like, all that, like, then you can kind of get really deep with it. But I feel like on a level, like, on a surface level of, like, writing songs and stuff, it's really hard to kind of nail down exactly where it comes from sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like you were saying when you were a kid, like, the stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
It's kind of like a small piece in a bigger puzzle because, and that's why I always think it's funny when people are like, well, who's that song about? And it's like, all right, well, it's not really about one thing. It's about
Right.
multiple things that I've experienced or somebody's experienced that I've witnessed that I know how that person felt during that time, and just kind of mixing that in together, but, like, making it appeasable for people to listen to.
Yeah.
And I think that even if there's one line that somebody really enjoys in a song, I mean, I think you've done your job. That line, and you know, people could spread that line all over the place now with social media. If you see that on an Instagram post or something like that, you're like, all right, well, that meant something to somebody. So it's kind of just like, I don't know, you look at the little pieces and then all of a sudden you got this whole big piece, and that's the whole song. But yeah, I love playing with these guys and when we get to do that, and That's why open mic, I think that's one way that, like, you know, people could do that and express themselves. And it's important to do that in front of other people, I think, because if you're just doing it for yourself, you're just going to constantly, I don't know, people just, if it was me sitting in a room writing a song and playing for myself, I critique myself to the point that I'd throw it out. Where if you take it and you present it to somebody and you get that little bit of feedback, it makes you feel better, and you're like, all right, well, shit, I could do this. This is fun.
Yeah. It's encouraging.
Yeah, so I love open mics, and I hope this. I mean, we're gonna have fun. I hope you guys have fun.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
yeah, I'm really excited about it. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I feel like
There's
open
some.
mics are so cool because you're basically just providing an atmosphere for people to be okay with themselves in. You know, so like no matter what you do, like even if you go up there and bomb, like you're in an atmosphere that people are like, it's cool, like that's what we're here
go
for.
for
You
it.
know what I mean? Like we're all here just like to kind of like be supportive of each other, you know? So like to be able to provide that for people, I think is super important, only on that level alone, to grow and to progress, but also like you said, to meet other people and like to kind of like interact with other people when it comes to stuff that you've worked on by yourself and you're not really sure if it's good or not, and it might not be.
Right,
You know,
you
but,
might
like,
you might think it's great.
You might not
and
ever
it's
know
not.
that until you come to an open mic.
You might also think it's
That's
terrible.
right,
Like
yeah.
this is the worst thing that I've ever wrote, and then you put it up there, and you're like, oh, people really liked it.
Yeah, or the opposite.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
So, what is your take on the local music scene here in the Wilkes-Barre area in general? The bands that you've met and the people that you've met here, and not just the musicians, but you know the audiences as well.
I could keep talking.
You guys have been so quiet.
That's what I do.
Plays bass,
Actually,
plays
just
drums.
stay in the background. Things don't
I think
fall
it's
apart.
I think it's
Foundation.
been
Foundation.
such a great experience. Just, you know, like I said before, putting yourself out there, meeting new people, and putting yourself in a situation where the lights are on you. You're going to make a mistake, but that's when you grow. Like I feel like some places we had like one good show. We would have one good show, and then the next show felt like
Nobody was there.
no one was there, and it just was really smoky, and they were telling us to play 80s music, and we just felt like, oh man,
This isn't working right
yeah,
now.
this is not right. But then the next, the
Those
following
moments
show,
are great too, though.
Yeah, they
Like
are.
so when you're like with art and like the kind of art, you're getting paid to do this. So you know it's still something you love to do, but you're also getting paid to do it. I found myself in situations like as a photographer, like, what am I doing here? Like, am I like, is this
Right.
like, am I like, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or you know what I mean? But it's just those weird situations that you have to experience to kind of be like, all right, maybe I won't do this again.
Yeah.
You know,
Kinda
like
like-
that's the learning, and that's the putting yourself out there. Like,
You guys had mentioned the Tony's Wine Cellar shows. That seems to be an atmosphere that everybody seems to agree helps them out and is
yeah.
great, and,
Yeah.
and you know kind of fosters people whether they've been doing this for decades or they're relatively new.
Yeah, well, Brett and Eddie, they do a great job organizing it, and I don't know, there's something about Tony's Wine Cellar. You go down there and
everyone's into it.
into it,
Yeah.
and it's like when everybody gets up at the end and joins, it's like musical bliss. It's like you're just
Yeah.
at a Dave Matthews concert with the orchestra playing in the background.
It's like ultimate good vibes.
Yeah, it's just cool, and like there seems to be a certain like similarity between all the bands, regardless of what they play, that we've run across. Everybody's down to earth. Everyone's appreciative of using other people's gear. They just want to hear the music and play. I mean, if it wasn't for Mother Nature's sons and John Shimo letting us just open up for them, we would just say, you know, just let us play a couple songs, just because we wanted to get that, just be on a stage and do that. And for some other band that has their set list and everything's set in stone, for another band to come in and be like, yo, can we use your stuff? It's really cool, because if you help them out, then they'll help you out, and it just carries the entire way. Like, and if we didn't have these different experiences that we've had, we wouldn't have grown all together the way we have. And I feel like our writing has gotten more tighter and better, and it just all has to do with everything that you put into it and kind of what you give out, and just the way your attitude towards other bands and the way you present yourself. And I just think if everyone's generous, it's like your own little community of music. And if everybody helps each other out, then you get a lot farther than being Mr. Well, I'm better than those guys, I want to play with them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man, everybody's just...
There's no
on the
room for
same
that, like, I
page,
feel like
so.
in this area, and, like, anytime someone is like that, like, there's no room for them, you
Right.
know, like, they kind of, like, I've seen people be dicks, and I've also seen them be like, just, all right, well, we're not going to work with that person, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, eventually, I think they ostracize themselves.
They do, like, that's, like, that would happen more so than, like, them just, constantly having to be, like, deal with them.
Right.
You know, they kind of, like, people aren't about that at all, like, in this area. They will, like, just be like, nah, we're all set.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So anytime someone is like that, I feel like that just gets kind of, like, handled on its own. Like, you don't have to be a jerk to them.
It just works itself out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, it
karma's
works
real.
itself out.
Just need a little ego drop. I'm gonna have more some lobster chocolate.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no,
I
go
think
for
there's
it.
some in this one. No, there's
Sorry.
not.
Oh, there's plenty in
Yeah,
this one,
that was
actually.
the empty one.
Fill that up.
Ringing endorsement for this tonight.
Yeah, guys. Beer boys.
You pouring all that yourself?
We're coming for you.
Well, they have 72 craft beers on tap at all
Yeah,
times,
yeah.
which is insane to
It
begin
is.
with. But they switch them out all the time, too. I think out of all those, I think 66 are
Sandler
rotating. That was
like the newspaper
yeah, that was
Still
clever.
good.
Here's this one.
So what are the goals for the band going forward? I mean, you're still in that stage where you want to obviously get an album out and things like that. Do you have a set idea of when and how you want to do that, and what's the future beyond that?
Those sound like plans.
Also,
Yeah.
we need photos.
We don't
Yeah,
do
we need,
plans.
I'll do your photos for you.
We need photos. We need a bio. I did buy a website, but I mean, I start stuff. It's just hard finishing it. But we do have plans. I mean, I feel like we took a smart approach as to what we've set kind of goals like from the beginning. And we've been consistent with practices Monday and Wednesday, Vine Street. So if you guys are around the area, you know where to find us. But we set kind of consistencies in practices and with these shows and budgets. So we're saving up to make a dope-ass album. We have the material. We just don't have the patience to sit down and
That's a key.
and
Yes.
record the album. So once we find that,
Do you have any ideas of where you want to record it?
no, there's a few people that we're comfortable with. It's just basically it's weird because we're such a live music band. Even when we record the songs,
Studio stuff's so different. We
Yeah.
were just talking about that.
so it's like when you break us up, it diminishes the moment that we make the music. I feel so. That's kind of where we're at. We're at that. All right, well, we might have to settle for something that might be, or somebody that could record and get us all live, and us be really comfortable with
Do a
it.
live album.
Yeah.
Hey, you might
So
have to.
yeah, I mean, we have the material. I think it's going to be within the next year that we get it. I hope a couple months.
Just comes
maybe.
down to time, really. That's
Yeah,
one of the
because
biggest things.
Dred broke his hand a little bit, and we took a little bit of a break right when we were planning on it, and then we all get anxious just to get up and play. So it's like
Sure.
and do these open mic things. So I mean, it's summer. We don't really want to sit in a room and record. We want to be outside playing and having people hear us. But we do have Jordan Ramirez and Going Up Records with Tunefly. They recorded our Mad Mad Woman video, and it's like,
It's
beautiful.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I
Yeah.
watched it the other night. It was really good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and it's cool. It's cool to see. It's cool to be able to like present that to people, and like it's funny. Like my friends from West Virginia, I'd go to a bachelor party and they'd be playing that song and watching the video, and you're like, dude, you're the dude in the dude video. And,
Dude video.
it's cool, and they're like, man, like, and so they look at me sometimes like I'm more professional than I actually am, just because the video's really nice. But yeah, I would love to have. We would all love to have, just because I mean, every time we sit down to play music, I feel like we're getting better and better. I hope we are, at least. We might all just be going deaf. But yeah, so within the next couple months, I hope to, for Christmas stockings, drop those puppies in Little Vine Street with your eggnog. And your chocolate lobster at Beer Boys, guys.
Now, is this something that you guys want to do for a living, or is this something that you guys just want to do on the side, or like what's the overall goal there?
I mean, I love it. It's the only time I'm like in the moment with my life. I do marketing during the day. I mean, it's fun, but there's something different about music that it's like it's one of those things that you get paid a lot of money because you enjoy it. You don't get paid and I feel like that's something that I want. And it's not. I don't think we all. It's not really about the money to us. So that's a good thing. Because if that's the focus, I feel like there's more stress on it, which takes away from the actual
There's
music.
pressure. Money,
Sure.
money becomes pressure.
So, I mean, I would love for someone to be watching Facebook Live right now, watch Mad Woman, sign us, and we'll be good to go. So, get a case of chocolate crowlers.
Crowler. Chocolate crowler.
My country
Chocolate lobster
country
crowler.
accents will go on the road. But that's from me. I'm going to let everybody wants to talk on this one.
Sure.
For me, I just I haven't been playing guitar for very long. It's probably like close to 5 years now. So any type of progress for me is awesome. So ride it out, see how far it goes. No matter if I'm getting paid or not, I'm gonna go home and play guitar. So because I enjoy it that much. So yeah.
All right.
Next.
All right.
Ditto.
So, pretty much, I've been drumming since I was about 8 years old. So, ever since I could remember, it's all I've ever wanted to do is just play music and perform in front of people. And my dream is to tour the whole world and just play music for a living and just live comfortably. And it's my main goal in life is to do music for a living and nothing else. Live on the road.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ditto. Actually, kind of did it with that guy. We've been playing about the same amount of time. We literally both picked up the instrument when we started hanging out with Sean, and we had to make the band.
And you had to show
both
all those
started
girls that you do have a
playing
band.
at the same
Yeah.
time.
I'm gonna buy instruments.
Yeah, we were single for a long time.
Instruments to be in the band. But no, we like I said, we've been playing for that long and stuff. But it's one of the most fun things I've done in my life. I mean, I feel like I've done a lot of pretty cool hobbies, from motorcycle racing to four-wheel and to whatever stuff. And this is by far the coolest high out of any of them. Getting out on stage and playing like that you get so much more back and stuff like that. It's just so much more enjoyable. So I'm along for the ride as far as it'll take me.
Yeah, and it is a serious high some nights. Like when we get done playing, it's like hard to it's hard to talk to people.
Before you're sleeping.
I don't know if you guys ever been in that situation. Like even after this podcast, I don't know if you guys finished up and you're like, what did we just talk about for an hour?
We usually are blocking off the cameras from outside, the
Yeah.
paparazzi.
Right.
and,
Yeah.
That
It's
happens.
really, it's mostly just
That's
overwhelming
Right.
when we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We just
some-
want to get out of here, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Can't even go
People-
grocery
Yeah.
shopping.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
it.
can't.
I have time for
Gotta wear
autographs
those
now.
Yeah,
dark
it's just
glasses with the
I
mustache.
have shit to do. That's pretty much it. That's what it's like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. we see it. I mean, I watch documentaries of people on the road and just laughing and doing dumb shit to each other. And
Sounds great.
Just
Right.
like enjoying
And
themselves.
it's just, it's like, yeah, it's like those people get it. And then, I'm not saying like what we do now is, but I don't know. There's just something about that piece of living in the moment. And every time we play, I feel like we're in that moment. It's kind of like you find that zen that people are looking for through yoga and all that. That takes years. It's like you get on stage and those lights hit you and you're playing for like who knows how long. You can't even remember or feel your fingers, but they're doing what they're supposed to. And then you get off stage, and I think that's why the green room is important when we go to Jazz Cafe. It's because we need to literally, jump off that high.
Sure.
Sometimes I go out into the crowd and people are like, oh, hey, we had a great time. And I'm just like,
What?
where's the nearest door?
People always like want to immediately talk to you as soon as you get
Yeah.
off stage, even like while
Right.
you're breaking down. Like I'm not a musician. I never like played a show, but like I've seen it.
Yeah,
Like
all the time. Sure.
people and like a lot of friends like said that like they're trying to just like unplug their shit and like people are like just like
Yeah.
how about that fucking bass solo like and you're just like dude like not right now.
Yeah. And then you feel bad because once you come off the high, you're like, oh shit, well I was rude to that person, that
Yeah,
person,
you
that
don't
person,
realize, but like you're still
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like,
zone.
so sorry guys, everybody after shows that I completely walked by, but now you know, so just
So that's
give
why
me a couple
comedians,
minutes.
a lot of comedians walk right out the door.
Right.
Like after they're off their set, like they do not hang out. Like they're in the car out the door. That's it.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think they have to. Like that's some sort of like mental. Like they're like okay.
Right.
It's just 'cause
It's
they have shit
over,
to carry
yeah.
with them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So the open mic is this Sunday at Kirby Park, 6 to 9. Now, Brittany, I saw your name on the poster too. How did you get involved with this?
So we were having a fundraiser at Donna Hughes for the Preservation of the Arts Committee that I'm on with Patty Hughes, who's the events coordinator for the city. I ran into Sean, and he came up with the idea, and he brought it to me, and he's like, can we make this happen? I was like, yes, and we're going to, like right now.
Yeah.
So, we're like
It was
doing shots.
smooth.
I'm like, yeah, we'll just consider it done. Like
We're
we're
done.
doing it. So I didn't talk to him I think for like a couple of days after that, but I don't know if you had messaged me or I had messaged you. I might have messaged you and said like I didn't forget about like our conversation. So I talked with like my friend who works with the city and to see if that date like the pavilion could be rented out, you know, and reserved. And it wasn't reserved that day, so I was like, all right, we're doing it. We're just gonna go do it, and that's how it happened.
It really wasn't that long ago, was it? It was like
it was their. I mean, it was just, like their idea, you know, to do it. I just kind of like facilitated, kind of like the hoops,
Yeah,
I
it's one
guess,
of
that you
those,
jump
like-
through, and I made the flyer.
Thank you for jumping the hoops and
Yeah.
the flyer.
Yeah.
I'm like the hoop jumper.
We're not
Yeah,
good
no.
at jumping.
Yeah.
It just like all happened like,
I'm like, I'll talk to my people. Like I'm like, you know.
yeah. I wasn't even gonna.
Yeah.
I don't even know how
I'll,
I
like,
ended
text
up
my
at
friend.
that benefit. It just happened like that. Like my friend texted me that I haven't seen in a while. She's like, I'm going to this benefit. If you want to stop by, I was like, all right, I'll have a chicken nugget and watch some Strawberry Jam.
Yeah.
And so then Brittany was there, and you know, you get drinking, and then the ideas start pumping. But I remember we've all talked about like, yo, why doesn't anybody use that pavilion out in Kirby Park? And the summer is just like a perfect thing, perfect time. And then I was like thinking, well, the orchestra sounds great on the 4th of July. We could sound like that. Why not do it? So, yeah, we had a couple shots, and then
It made me happy that like I was the person to be like, all right, you know, maybe I'll ask Brittany. Like she'll be able
Yeah.
to, like that like makes me happy.
It's
that
'cause
I
you
could
get
do
shit
that.
done.
Like
Yeah.
I get shit done. Like I'm like sometimes I'm like, all right, good. That's like a good way to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, am I like that? Because sometimes I don't get shit done. So like here's
You
one
got
thing
it,
I
you
got
got
done.
it.
In this case, you
Yeah,
got
like-
shit done.
yeah, it was
Chess.
awesome. It just kind of like bing bang boom. It fell
Yeah, I
all
was like, all
into
right, we're just
place.
gonna do this.
It was cool.
Like, cause it's very simple to do things. Like that's why I try to like make people understand. Like in the area, like if you just go do it. You know, like I want people to be like, oh, like I did like an art show. One of the first art shows I did like 2 years ago. I was like, I just want to do this so that other people do it. You know, so other people see how easy it is. you know, like, just so people could be like, oh, if I want to do something, I could just go do it, you know, like, it's cool to be able to, like, let people realize, like, it's not that difficult to put something together or, like, plan some little event or, like, you know, you just have to have, like, that mentality that's just, like, okay, I'm just going to, like, try to see what I do to do that, because it's not that hard.
Yeah, and I feel like Facebook really pushes you, too, because
Yeah.
as soon as we talked, and I was like, I'm going to post something.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
So now people are going to hold you accountable.
Yeah, it's like, all right, people
Well,
are reading this
like, if
shit.
you put it out there, I think the first you were like, should I post something? And I was like, maybe wait, like, one day.
Yeah.
I was like, just wait a second. And I was
Screw
like, you know
it.
what, just go do it. I was like, just do it, because then we got to do it.
Then the wheels turn.
Yeah,
and it's
because then,
we're
like, people, you know, you try to be one of those people that, like, if you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Yeah.
Or if you put something out there, like, or if you're like, oh, I have this idea, and then, like, okay, now it's, like, taking form, you know? Like, you don't want to be, like, someone that's, like, full of shit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because then you'll never get anything done.
Yeah, and then you just can't get anything done, because everyone's like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah, sure, we'll see that when it happens.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening Sunday, 6 to 9,
See
Kirby
you
Park
then.
Pavilion. Hosted by us and Brittany. Are you coming?
I will actually be working, so I can't.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
Buzzkill.
I'm going to take some photos for you guys that night. We could do some. That
That's
way you
great.
have
Cool.
some.
Very cool. Very cool.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, bring whatever fireworks, legal or illegal. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe I'm not. Kirby Park, set them off.
Find out.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time.
So it's actually a good way to segue into the last word segment tonight. Before these guys play another song for us quick, I had done a couple interviews at the Warped Tour a couple days ago with some national bands. You can watch those on our Facebook page, and I'm also going to post the audio from those as well, because with us doing them live on Facebook, our stream wasn't exactly the best on the mountain, which, I mean, everybody knows that you don't really
Yeah,
get a
it's
lot of
terrible.
great signal up there and everything else. And they didn't have Wi-Fi set up, so it was kind of tough to get it out there. But I do have all the audio recorded from them. And particularly, I remember answers from Big D and the Kids Table, who were from Boston, and Anti-Flag, who were from
I
Pittsburgh.
love that.
And the what I thought was interesting is I thought I'm going to ask them, since we are, you know, called NEPA Scene, I should ask them about what their scenes are like to be able to kind of compare them. And it was interesting because I didn't put any thoughts in their head. I just said, you know, what have they been like over the years? How did they help foster you? And then how did you, how is it coming back to them years later? Because these guys have been doing this for decades now. They've toured the world, things like that. And then to come home. And it was funny because you hear this. They basically had the same things to say that everybody says about the scene here. That there a lot of the venues they used to play are closed and gone. That there aren't a lot of all ages shows anymore, and that they used to grow up doing that, and now they can't imagine what kids do now because there's nowhere for you to go unless you're over 21 and stuff like that, which is good why there's events like yours coming up and things like that too. And it just kind of dawned on me that essentially you like you had said, you just have to go out and do it yourself. Mm-hmm. You can't just sit there and complain that things aren't the way that they used to be and lament that because things are always going to change no matter what, because decades before that there were other venues that were open and other bands and things that are long gone. And so something's always going to come along and replace those. And I think it's sad that people, I think, just kind of give up in general without having to, without at least trying something different on their own. I don't know if you guys can speak to that at all, but it made me think anyway.
Definitely.
It was interesting that there was a kind of a common denominator between us and other scenes, in the country, other areas where people are contributing.
Yeah, not just
musically.
Pittsburgh, which is a few hours away, but Boston as
Right.
well, and
Like,
other
I
places
remember,
that.
even just hearing about those scenes, like, when I was a teenager, like, I remember hearing about, like, the Boston hardcore scene and, like, the Long Island hardcore scene, and, like, I feel like even those were, like, some of the strongest scenes, like, around, and now, like, you don't really hear much about it,
Right.
I just feel like it's all relative, though, when it comes to, like, things going in and out of, like, in phases, things come and go, but...
One of the things Big D said is, now everybody thinks of, like, Dropkick Murphys when they think of Boston
yeah.
and stuff like that. So then that also kind of puts an idea of what people are expecting,
Right.
You know, so then it might be harder for maybe somebody else to do something around
Right.
here that might be, you know, different from what people would expect.
Yeah.
I think
Or the
music
reality
is-
of it.
I think like music is evolving so much. You have so many different tastes that it's probably harder for people to kind of like, oh, do we want to play with a punk band or do we want to play with like?
Sure.
I think it's cool. Like we've done that before. We've played with people kind of that feels like maybe it's outside of our genre, but.
That's actually what they had said was one of the benefits of the Warped Tour, is that they would
Super.
meet people that they would never have toured with or even talked to otherwise,
Yeah.
and said, hey, let's go on a tour after this, because they got along so well. And so now you're crossing fans over and things. And, you know, the other thing, too, is, you know, we're growing up in the iPod generation. You know, we're growing up in digital music and Spotify and things like that. In the old days, it was like you probably, okay, I'm this kind of music, so I'm going to go to the record store and buy this kind of music.
Right.
And so you're kind of only hearing one kind of music or surrounded by one kind of music. Whereas now I think there's no shame in that. You know, like I think people, you even just, you know, growing up as a kid, it was like, okay, you were a punk kid, you were a metal kid, you
There's
were
no
a,
box.
yeah,
People aren't in their boxes.
yeah, people
anymore.
don't think of it that way anymore. They're not
Yeah.
ashamed to say, oh, well, yeah, you know what, I like this as well.
Yeah. Like the skaters are playing football.
Right.
So to speak.
Yeah, pretty much. Or at least they can all agree on you know, what to play.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
other words.
we've even come across that, but I tend to say yes to everything. And we were playing open mic night once, which is beauty of open mic, and these rappers came up to us and they said, "Oh, we would love for you to play our music with," and we thought, "All right, well, yeah."
Yeah.
And here they gave us a CD, and we had to transpose their rap, like electronic, like beats and stuff to our music. But it ended up being a blast. I
Worked
mean,
pretty well.
we had a great
Wow.
time, and we're good friends with all of them. And it's just one of those experiences that we wouldn't have come across if they weren't at open mic and we weren't at open mic. And then we got to go back to the open mic and let them perform their songs for the first time with instruments. So it was kind of like a mix. It was our first time playing for rappers,
Right.
and it was their first time playing with instruments. So
Right.
it was a cool mix. But yeah, it was just, that's why open mics and all these different genres. It's like
Intermingling.
Mix it up.
if you don't take the risk to try to do,
Could all sit at
These
each other's
things.
lunch tables.
you'll never
Yeah.
know what could come of it.
I'm killing
So
it.
just
now with
keep
these,
saying
like,
yes.
these,
You are.
Yeah. What are they? What analogies?
Yeah.
The gray
The
area.
gray zone.
Gray rock. Gray country.
You were super quotable. One of the things I thought was funny too is I got to talk to Gwar for a couple minutes at the end of the day, and somebody kept commenting while I was doing the interview. Why is this guy so serious? Like he's talking to a bunch of guys that look like they walked out of a video game or something. I'm like, it's called you don't try to out funny fucking Gwar.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay in your lane.
You play the straight man, and then that lets them be funnier. If I'm sitting there trying to make jokes that are better
you
than
have
their
to look
jokes
like
and
an
stuff,
asshole.
yeah, not
Yeah.
To mention my questions consisted of things. What do you hate about humans the most? Like stupid shit like that, so that
Yeah.
they, it's for them to play off of, But I thought that was funny. And one of the things that I talked to the drummer from Anti-Flag, who goes by Pat Fedek, and he asked, how do we differentiate ourselves from fake news in these days, where everyone kind of labels everything as fake or questions what you're doing and stuff like that. And I said, I actually gave the example of this show. I said, this allows us, I feel, to be a little more accountable.
Right.
Because I think when people see a byline or something, they don't necessarily, they almost think that news is like generated by a machine somewhere.
Right.
That someone isn't sitting down and actually, typing all this stuff out. And I think that it separates them from the journalists.
You're
And I
right.
think if people can see us and they know what we look like, then we can be more held accountable
Well, credibility.
for what we're doing. Yeah, exactly.
Credibility and consistency, and like just being honest, generally speaking, let alone like publicly. But just as a human person,
Right,
planet.
if people see that we're here, and,
Yeah.
and you know, and you know, like
we exist, and we're not like.
Exactly, and I said even just going to shows has been incredibly important. Like when I went over the Keys this weekend to see some of the bands, you know, a lot of them I had known and stuff, and there were a few that I didn't know, but I had written about in the past, whether it was, you know, through a phone interview or through email and things like that. And they were so thankful to see me, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here," and stuff like that. I'm like,
You're like a real person.
right. And it's, well, why is that? And I think it's because most media doesn't go beyond
There's no
that.
face to any media.
Yeah,
outlet
exactly.
Other than like commentators on like CNN, like that's different. But
Right.
online publication, there's no.
They don't actually go out to the shows. You know, you
Right.
see a lot of publicity for shows and writing about shows, but I think to actually consider yourself part of what they're doing, you have to actually be there. You have to go out to the shows.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm sorry I have to miss what you guys are doing, because I would love to go.
Wow.
Well then.
Hopefully there's more.
Yeah, we should do it next month.
Yeah.
Oh, done.
Done. Check.
That's fast.
I didn't. See, I saw a lot of. When you exit the comments and go back, I can't see some of the earlier ones. I don't know if Gerard saw any that particularly stood out, other than the people going chocolate lobster. That sounds fucking terrible. Which
It's
not.
It's very,
It's
very
so
good.
good.
It's actually
I'd like
pretty
4
good.
glasses.
I
guys.
typically don't drink dark beer because I think it tastes like soy sauce
Yeah.
more often than not, and I like this.
Same. I'm not a dark beer person.
Like I would dip
That
my
was pretty
sushi in
good.
it, but I won't drink it.
Yeah.
I don't taste the lobster, but I wish I,
don't
could.
either. I taste a little bit of the chocolate.
I-
It's actually very like light. Like
Yeah, it's not as heavy.
Despite
As
how
you,
it looks.
It's not as heavy as you would think.
it's like light and it's good. Like
Yeah.
it's not how you would expect it to be.
It looks like oil, but it definitely doesn't taste like oil.
Tastes like the sea,
It tastes a lot better.
the chocolate sea.
And there's definitely a lot of highs, and you know, people will just
Saying hello.
Yeah, saying hello to you
Hello.
guys and stuff like that.
Hey guys, thanks for saying hey and watching.
And
Thanks for stopping by.
and shout out to Joe Craig. Joe Craig, you should come to this. He's a big open mic guy. He loves
Turn the camera on
doing the
yourself.
show. So please come out to this event, because I think this will be really cool. So if you guys want to close us out with one more song.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks for having us,
Thank you
Bob.
very much,
Thank you so
guys.
much for being here.
Appreciate it. It was awesome. Cool stuff. All right.
Oh, I needed to stand up.
Yeah.
I get like antsy after.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
That chocolate lobster didn't make me squeak. Would you like a green light to go, or is it happening?
Yeah, we're still live, so you go whenever you're ready.
This one's called XOXO. Everyone's the same, even though we're different. Everyone has a brain, no one is stupid. Growing like a tree, giving tree has roots for you and me. From a 7 in the belly of the beast, swallowed whole life, never seemed so precious as it did in those seconds. I was told to beware of situations, approaching destinations in the mountains where can't hear a sound but your peace of mind. Innocent is all you, as they set up shop on the corner fresh, squeeze lemonade, never tasted better. Innocent is all you, finger painting found on the walls, we were all once that innocent too. close, 'cause our precious nervous blushing, crushing, whispering sweet nothings. Thank you guys. Good night.